Hello, everybody. Welcome to my weird and wonderful world. And I decided to do something a little different. I want to kind of talk about some cool things that I did and some places that, I've been. And I thought, why not use Google Maps, and show you a few things. Now, I'm not going to show you exactly directly where I live, but I do live within that area you see on the map here of Moncton, New Brunswick. So, show you a couple of sites here. Now, yeah, I live in around that area, so I like to go up here towards. So there's Plaza Boulevard here, and then there's Trinity Drive. This is the main drag, which is Mountain Road, which pretty much goes all over. Yeah, that right here would be Mountain Road that goes all the way up to here. I grew up on Ryan Road, which is pretty much right here. This is Ryan Road. So I lived up in this area here. Now, the trailer that I grew up in, okay, it was like a mobile home, but it was permanently there. And it's no longer there, of course. It has been been gone and rebuilt, and it's a whole different area now than when I grew up there. There was no sidewalks, it was ditches. Uh, there was not nearly as much houses. There's a school right there, pretty much right across the street. Where's the school? Yeah, right there, the Northrop Fry School. So I used to live around here. None of this was back there before. That was all woods and that. There's the water tower is up here somewhere. Uh, I'm not sure exactly where it is, but yeah, there's a water tower. Let's see if we can't get into Street View and I can't find that water tower. Um, let's go try to go to Street View. Boom. All right. Now take a look around. See if I can't see that water tower somewhere. Ah, see right there. Right there. That's the water tower. Let's head on up a little closer. Um yeah, there it is. See if I can't get a little closer. Boom. uh, this is fun. It's back there, but yep. All this back here used to be nothing but woods, which I had, of course, been through many times. Because I pretty much grew up there all mostly in my teens. It's mostly my teen years, right up until the time when I, you know, got out and went to live with like on my own when I moved out of my parents and stuff. So let's get out of there. Let's get out of there. Let's go back to this view. Boop. Oh, see now I got all the street view here. I want to get rid of that for now. So I sometimes like to bike to, I mentioned it before, to Shediac, right? You can see that here's Moncton, where I live, and then there's Shediac, which is about a good, quite a, I'm not exactly sure how many kilometers away that would be, but, and I'm sure there's a way of finding stuff like that out on Google Maps that you can find distances and that. But as you see, now from Moncton, there's a few ways you can go. I used to go down this way, down Main Street, okay, all the way and take the Skaduk way. Take the Skaduk way around. That is a much longer way to get to Shediac, but then then you're into Shediac. Of course, the lobster would be, I would say, around, yeah, around here. That's where the lobster is. Oop. Hopefully it'll show you. See, there's the lobster. Let's get rid of that. No, actually, let's click back onto the lobster again so you can see that again. Yeah. So I've been there. I've taken some video there of me going to the giant lobster, going down Main Street. There's not. I mean, there's really not much to it than that. Get rid of that now. I don't need any of that. Let's go back onto Street View and yeah. So Shediac. But now, when if I'm going to go to Shediac, the easiest way to go would be just to take the old Shediac Road. When you come up here, then you come up this way, and I actually work up in this area up here, but I wouldn't go that way. I just keep taking the. I used to take the Veterans Highway, but that's not the better way. It's taking that parallel road, the 134, and then you go up to here, and then all I gotta do is just kind of bike down this way, and then I'm in Shediac. The Skiduk way kind of bypasses some of that, and you just go right straight on. Once you hit that underpass, you just keep going. There's a little circle here, and whoop, right into Shediac. Now, when I turned 50, okay, I hadn't had a bike for a while, and then so I got a bike. So I wanted to make that journey down to here, to the Hopewell Cape, to go see the Hopewell Rocks. Now, the journey I took, of course, and you see how far it is to Shediac, okay? Which is a pretty good stretch. It's just a little bit more going down to Hopewell Rocks. I have to cross the river. I have to come down this way a little bit here to go across this over here, and then come down that way. And I just follow the 114 all the way down. And it is a much bigger ride, but I'm hoping to do that again. Yeah, about 4 years ago, 4 or 5. Yeah, about 4 years ago, when I turned 50, I went down and I took a nice bike ride down to Hopewell Rock. That was a pretty extensive ride. All right, I want to kind of switch gears a little bit and zoom out a bit. There's Canada. So I live in New Brunswick, of course, right here. That's pretty much where I live, where you see the arrow pointing on the cursor. Now we're going to go down this way a little bit. Around this area over here, I'm not going to pinpoint exactly where, but around down here, there's a little place called Trenton, and that's where our good, our awesome friend Larry Graves, who goes by the Canadian Stud Muffin, he lives around that area. And there's Toronto, and then of course right up over here is Montreal. Now I've lived in Montreal throughout my entire 30s, yeah, for 10 years. 10 years and about 9 months I had lived in Montreal. And I was just kind of looking through the map earlier. Now, for me, the main drag, of course, would be St. Catherine, which would be there's Notre Dame, St. Jacques, there's St. Anthony. That's good to know. And then there's St. Catherine. For me, St. Catherine was the main drag. There's Sherbrooke up here. Okay. So here I am on St. Catherine. There's Rennie Levesque. There's a really great park down this way here. Rennie Levesque Park. You want to see, you want to check out the place where you can actually see the curvature. More photos need to be taken right there at Rennie Levesque Park, because when you're in that park and you can, yeah, you can look out here. It looks like you're looking out in the ocean. You can't see over here. It, yeah, you can barely see that island. It depends, but there's a curvature between that little park here, the René Levesque Park, which that was one of my favorite bike rides, because I took St. Patrick the whole way down. St. Patrick, yeah, pretty much goes with this street right here. Well, yeah, I took that way all the way down from downtown. I've lived in many different places, but I was shocked to see when I went to go look at one of my old apartments. Okay, let's go back to St. Catherine, and there's Okay, Guy Street. Okay, I used to live on Guy off of Guy Street. Guy Street, and that's where there's a Salvation Army boot center, which is a kind of a rooming house that I used to live at, and that was off of Guy Street. I'm pretty sure it's right. Yeah, it's right here. This building right here. That's the on the corner of Saint Jacques and Guy Street. That is the Salvation Army boot center. Yeah, I've lived there briefly here and there, and that's yeah. Wow, that brings back memories. Coming down here, here is where me and my friend Keo used to hang out. We called it the cubby hole. Now you can't really see it, okay, but right underneath right here, okay, where my the cursor is going through, there is a kind of a tunnel from one building, and all this area in here, except for this little opening there, all this area here is all enclosed. There's a way of getting in here, but there's a kind of a little tunnel here. We used to hang out in this area here. Nobody would ever come around to bug us, and we could just kind of goof around and yell and scream because this is all businesses. Especially the time we would go and hang out there, there was nobody. There was nobody there. Over here was like the Salvation Army surplus. Here was a Salvation Army store, and it was part of the Salvation Army building. But up here was on the the Salvation Army boot center. This kind of U-shaped building. So I used to live. The very first place I used to live was off of Saint Andre, which would be Saint Lawrence, Sanguinet, Barry UCAM. Down this way was a soup kitchen I used to go to. There's a clock over here somewhere where yeah, I'll go check that out in a minute. But we're right by here by Saint Andre. You go up to Saint Andre, and at the corner of Saint Andre and Ontario Street, which would be where's Saint Andre? Right here, okay. I used to live in a building right here, okay. But what's there right now? Let's go down to street level again. Yeah, there used to be a building here that I used to, but no, it's an Ultramar, a little Ultramar that's in there. All this area here, this square had an apartment building, and it was the very first apartment building I used to live in, and now it's gone. It's not there anymore. So that's kind of crazy. What's the truck doing in the way? Oh my gosh. Okay, let's move out of the way here. Let's see if I can't go down. I want to go down this way. Saint Andre. Yeah. Now, one day coming up from Saint Andre, it looks a little different. Let's see if I can't find it. Yeah, it was going down Saint Andre. I think it's down further. There's a kind of should be a house on the left side here. I don't remember there being that many apartment buildings on this. Let's see. Well, this is where on St. Andre, coming up that way, and it was on one side of the road. I think maybe it might have been on this side of the road. I had passed by the actress Shannon Doherty. I'm pretty sure she was filming a scene of, and this would be 2002. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she was filming a scene of Charmed. So let's get out of there again. Let's come back out and zoom out a little bit. So, let's get out of that view again. Boop. So, St. Catherine, yeah, that was the main drag I used to walk down. That's I was walking down, walking down this way towards kind of south. Because when I'm looking at it, okay, I always thought north. Yeah, it's weird. You saw Montreal as being kind of going, east and west, but it is actually more going down as well. Yeah, as you can see, it's kind of going downward. You never really realize that. I've looked at maps. When you're looking at maps on street corners and that, yeah, I remember now that the north was always pointing kind of in a different angle, which would be, you know, but the maps always kind of showed it from yeah, a different angle. Yeah, it's kind of odd when I keep looking back at it. It's like I don't remember it being that sharp of an angle. It seemed always more, when you tilt it on the side. Ah, okay, I digress. But I have so many memories of being in Montreal. Let's see if I can't find that clock that I off of Barry that I used to, well, that I got started again. So down very, I'm getting close again. Yeah, for me, I'm too far. The Sky Street. And yeah, remember, there's an underground city in Montreal, a nice underground city. Let's go back up. St. Laurent Boulevard, Bon Secours, there's St. Andre's, which means we're right by Barry. Barry. Okay, I want to go to Street View and see if I can't. Right by the tracks, there's bike trails. That's one thing I love about yeah, that's one thing I love about Montreal. There's so many bike trails everywhere, and I keep saying that Moncton needs more bike trails. All right, if that's Barry, okay, and I'm not sure if it's still there. Let's go up a little bit. Oh no, let's go. Let's turn this around. I want to go that way. Oop, let's go up. Yeah, Barry. Let's get off of that. Let's go up a tiny bit. Yeah, wow, this is bringing back some memories too. So yeah, it was pretty much right. It was pretty much right there. I don't see it there. Maybe it was in more. Let's go here. Let's see if we can't go up this way. Yeah, yeah, I think we're finding it. You had to come down here. Yeah, you see people kind of hanging outside here. They have to open that gate. This was when I first moved. Yeah, yeah, Rue Bonneau. It was called Accueil Bonneau. Let's let's move out a little bit. You know, but yeah, see, they're standing in line. They're all standing in line here to go get a meal, a free meal in the like. Yeah, that was one of the very first places that you know when I was exploring Montreal. I lived on not necessarily on the streets. I had places to go in that, but yeah, I slummed it a little bit. Yeah, this brings up so many memories hanging out in old Montreal. I've been through all of these streets. Yeah, okay, let's go back down Barry. Let's. Wow, this has not changed at all. So okay, let's turn. Going down this way. Yeah, Barry. So let's go down this way. I'm going to go for another few minutes here, and then I'll let you go. I just want to kind of find that clock. Oh, there it is. We're getting closer. I see it right there. It's right there in the distance. Let's go down this way. Let's see if we can't get to it somehow. Let's go this way. Okay. Oop, where are we? Let's follow this bike path. Boom. Or we're back on the street again. Okay, let's go this way a little bit. Let's see if I can't. I want to get to that clock. Clock tower. Because, yeah, there's Larone. You can see the wheel for Larone. Let's see if we can't go this way again. I don't want to go on the street. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. confusing where everything is going here. Okay, oh, okay. It is. I thought there was an opening here, but there's not. All right, nope. My bad. Boom. Get on the street over here. Yeah. See, I'm trying to go this way, down that. See, now it's bringing me back there. Never mind. I'll abandon that little route. Let's see if we can't go this way. Boom. Down. Even this brings back memories. We're going to be passing by Viger Park. This park right here, yeah, we're in that's VJ Park. Okay, I don't see many people in there, but this is a park dedicated to the homeless people. See, there's the clock. I can see we're getting closer. Let's let's get back to let's see if we can't get back to here. Oh, yeah, that clock. Because for months, for actually no, a couple of years of living in Montreal, that clock had not been working. Okay, and so one day we climbed all there's steps that go all the way up, a lot of steps, and didn't I get the bright idea just to go over and take the and take the pendulum and start swinging it, and from then on it started going. So yeah, I did that. I don't know what possessed me, but I actually did that. If you keep going this way, this is where you get down to the Molson Brewery. I'm pretty sure that is it right here. Maybe. Or you keep going this way. Yeah, it should get you down to the Molson Brewery, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So, okay, let's get out of this view again. Let's get out onto Street View. I'll show you one more place that so it's actually not too far from where I used to live at that boot center. Okay, so oh, get off of that. Let's go back down to Guy Street. No, I don't know where. Guy Street, right here. Okay, at the corner of Saint Jacques and and René Levesque. Okay, oh, that's Richmond. Boom, there's Guy Street. So if you go up Saint Jacques, okay, you get to here, which is the kind of what is that now? I'm looking for is it where is that? I don't even see where the metro stations are. I'm looking for okay, Saint Antoine Bell Center, right there. So right up the street, like we're not far away from the Bell Center, which the first time I saw Tool, it was actually called the Molson Center, but they eventually changed it over to the Bell Center when I guess when Bell took over. So yeah, just basically up the street from Guy Street is the Bell Center, which I've been to many times. I've hung out around there. I went to see Tool twice. I saw Metallica there. And yeah, okay, I guess I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna have to start getting ready for work, and I've been going over 25 minutes. But I might revisit some more memories. Um, okay, let's go for another 2 more minutes. I want to show you one last thing if I can find it quickly here. We're gonna go north. I want to find the now. I want to look for Oka of where Oka is the monastery. Now, as long as we're still on the island of Montreal, which we are, this will be over, I'm thinking it'd be over here. This would be where the monks are, right? Um, Once I can find Oka, the monastery, because if I'm looking, it would be near Hudson. When are no, no, I don't think I'm going to be able to find it fast enough for you guys. But I have been all around this area too, and so yeah, it would be, it has to be up here somewhere. But the water would freeze over, okay, during it was a particularly cold winter, and you could drive over, and it was right not too far from where the oka, where they make the cheese, the monks make the cheese. Now I'm pretty sure it's got to be up here somewhere, but I can't really think of where it is. It could be this area here that's blanked out because they love their anonymity and they wouldn't want to advertise that they're there. But yeah, that could be why that's all, bare. It's vacant. There's nothing in there that I can see. All right, I'm going to let you go before let's see what I can't do to get this a little bit bigger for you. And gotta take that off and then click on that and put that a little bit bigger. No, I'm fine with that. All right, everybody. Big black area probably right there. Let's see if I can't change that a tiny bit. How about that? I'm a little close up, but who cares? Okay, everybody, you know what to do. If you haven't subscribed yet to my channel, please do. I will love you forever, greatly appreciate it. Don't be afraid to hit the like button, comment. I do my best to get to everybody's comments. And everybody have a great day, evening, morning, night, afternoon, wherever you may be. Peace.